Okay, hello! Today I'm doing the Divergent movie review slash discussion thing. Don't mind all of this. It's the weekend and I just showered and I'm lazy time. So, yeah. I saw this movie last weekend with my boyfriend and some friends, and none of them have read the book. So, I was the only one there. So I got a little bit of both sides of from the read the book perspective and the not read the book perspective from them. So I'm just going to talk about each, and I'm going to have like one section with no spoilers, and then I'm going to have a section with spoilers, and I'll let you know when there's spoilers. Okay, overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was very good. The actors were awesome. I think all of the actors did such a good job, and I can't even think of one that didn't do that great of a job. They were all just so well portraying the characters exactly how I imagined the characters were. And I'm really happy about that. They were overall pretty close to the book. There was a few major things which I'll talk about later. And but other than that, it was very good. I enjoyed the movie, and my friends who hadn't read the book enjoyed the movie. So overall, we came to the conclusion it was a good movie. I already wrote the movie review, but it's specifically comparing it to the book on my website / blog thing. I'll put a link in the description so you can check that out. And I might mention some things in there that I won't mention in this video. About the movie, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it felt rushed, and I felt like it was just really quick and stuff, and I think it's kind of because I'm biased because I read the book, and I know in the book it's like this was a whole chapter. In the movie it was 2 minutes, and so for me, like, the whole movie felt really rushed, and I know it was like 2.5 hour long movie, but still, it was like they could have spent more time with this and this and this and this and this. What are the details? I'm going to talk about the spoilers now, so if you haven't seen the movie, don't go forward. And I'm also going to be comparing it to the book, so if you haven't read the book yet and you don't want the difference ruined or something, you might not want to watch, but if you don't really care, go for it, I guess. Overall, the movie's good, though, so see it. Yeah. Spoilers. Okay, so the biggest change, that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on the changes from the book to the movie that bothered me specifically. And the one that really, really made me irritated, that grinds my gears, is the Peter cutting out Edward's eye was not even in there. And that was very important to the series. Well, to the first 2 books anyway. You know, and I was really upset about that because it's important, because I mean, Edward wasn't really a big character in the movie as he was in the books, but they've talked about him. When you look at the leaderboard, his name is number 1, and he's not like a main character. I mean, they don't even specifically talk about him ever, but he's there enough. And then in the second book, if you've read the books, you know that he becomes a bigger character, and so it's really important to see why he left Dauntless. And I don't know what they're going to do for the sequel, because, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do for the sequel. I mean, they can't just say he left Dauntless, because why would he go to the Factionless? That bothers me. It's just, another thing that bothered me, which I understand, because every movie they're trying to make a high concept movie that everybody can understand, and that it's easy to follow the characters and everything, was Janine, and they made her like super antagonist. In the book, she was a big antagonist, but she wasn't really there. Like, she was doing the things from afar, and in the book she was doing things right there. And I'm specifically talking about the ending when Triss had to run into the control room and stop it all, you know, because in the book Tobias was the one running the control room, nobody else. It was all him, and then she just had to wake him up and they were good to go. And in the movie, there wasn't just Tobias and Janine, there was a bunch of erudite people. And that was not even close to the book. And then she had to mind control Janine, which was weird, and I was thinking about it, and I said, would that even work? And I don't know. I don't know if that would work, but I guess it works according to the movie. And yeah, she wasn't in the book that much. She wasn't. This one doesn't really change, but it's something I wish they would have done better, was incorporate Al more, because when he died, my friends were confused of who died, if it was Will or Al. And that was really confusing. Also, with when she gets attacked, they never mentioned that it was Peter and Drew. Well, at least I don't think they did. I don't remember them saying it was also Peter and Drew. They just said it was Al. And I think that's important because, you're supposed to hate Peter, and how can you hate Peter if you don't know that, number one, he cut out Edward's eye, and number two, he attracted Triss. And he did other things, but those things I understand why they cut out the movie as well. But
you can hear Peter's voice, but you can't, you don't ever see his face, so if you can't distinguish whose voice it is, you can't tell it's Peter.
Okay. This next part has 2 sub-parts to it, I guess, and it's all about the initiation training specifically. And these 2 parts, I completely understand why they changed for the movie. Like I said before, everything's high concept now. And I completely understand why they changed it. It still just, irks me a little that they did. Well, the first thing was making it 2-part process instead of a 3. In the initiation in the book, it was the fighting and weaponry, I don't know what to call it. Then there was the simulations, and then there was the fear landscape. And in the movie, they combined the simulations and the fear landscape into one thing, and that was stage 2. I don't have a problem with it because they are very similar. It's just one of them you sit through it, and it's shorter, and the other one you actually have to just go through it. It's like a hallucination, kind of. So I get that and everything. So I actually don't have a problem with that part. I just want to define it and lay it down. The second part I do have a problem with, kind of. And if you read the books, you know that when they go into their simulations and when they go into their fearscape, the way to escape and get out of them is to either calm down and lower your heart rate and breathing and everything and just be really calm, or to face it head on. For example, if you're on a giant building, you jump off, and that is facing your fear. Or if you are afraid of drowning, you swim deeper. And in the movie, they said the exact opposite of that. They said, according to Tobias, they said to get out of the landscape like a dauntless, you have to think through and solve the problem and escape through your problem solving. Like when they were on the high building thingy and they had to walk to the building, and when they were in the space they had to stop the walls from moving, and where in the book they jumped off the building and they calmed down enough to get out of the small space. And I think they did it for high concept, so it's just easier for the audience to understand it, because it kind of is a lot and it can be confusing, and it's also how do you tell if somebody's divergent? And so for them, they just said divergent people are those who actually face the fears. But for me, I felt that them solving the problems and actually thinking through how to solve it was more of an erudite skill. That's more of an erudite test versus a dauntless test. Because you need to be smart to do that. You don't need to be brave. I mean, it's brave to jump off the building and face your fears head on, and bothers me. It's not quite what I wanted. That's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with the spoilers and stuff. Oh wait, the ending. The ending was, in the book, I felt a more complete, solid, ending. I don't even know how to explain it. I felt satisfied with the ending. In the movie, I did not. It was they're on a train, and that was it. They didn't even talk about what happens next. They're on a train. And it was so boring. They're on a train. They don't even explain anything. In the book, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure in the book, she says they're going to Amity. I'm pretty sure when talking to Marcus, they say they're going to Amity. So it's okay, in the next book, I expect them going to Amity. But in the movie, they didn't say anything. So it's okay, well, what do I expect next? It wasn't a cliffhanger, I guess. And I like cliffhangers and I hate cliffhangers. It's a love-hate relationship, but it was just very anticlimactic and just a blah, blah ending. That's how I feel about that. Now, I think I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Comment with your feelings and reactions and everything like that, and let me know if you've read the book or not. And if you haven't, just tell me if you like the movie. And if you're excited for the next one. Subscribe for more reviews of books and book movies and stuffs. Anyway, goodbye!